Oh, terrible. There it is. Boom. Hey, fellas, your commissioner here coming at ya for a little week six. Week six of NFL action. As you can tell, I'm trying to do some tricks of the light here. Kind of obscure my face. It's not really helping. You can see, got some dry skin up there, looking very ashy. Got a little sun this weekend, watching some fantastic Division III football. Shout out East Texas Baptist University. Tigers, right? Tigers, I think. Tigers. Ended up losing. Very shades of Arkansas. Very exciting first half. Teams are going back and forth up and down the field. 28-21 halftime score. And the final score was 42-28. So yeah, East Texas Baptist didn't have a great second half. A couple turnovers, some costly penalties. Just couldn't get any enough stops. So hate to see that. Drove 3 hours each way to get there in support of Erica's dad and her family. So it's good to see them, but I'm thinking it's October, right? It's October. Well, it's cold. Yeah, you can get sunburned in October, can you? And, what do you know? Texas, it's hot. It's hot down there, boy, I tell you. That sun is beaming down on you. And I was just very, very underprepared for this. I was just excited to get to be a passenger princess for once on a long car ride. Didn't bring my sunglasses, didn't bring a hat, and most importantly, didn't bring sunscreen. You think 31 years old, I would have learned my lesson by now? Clearly not. Clearly not. So, still some work to go there. So, got a little sunburn on half my face, arms, kind of legs a little bit, but, we persevere. All right, we persevere. So, anyway, let's go ahead here, get into a recap of last week's games. We'll start off with our Cliff Bar game of the week between Hipster Craig and Americana Ford. And what do you know it? Kind of a testament, right, to the new age, new way of thinking, just steamrolling over the old classic ideals of America. And Craig wins this one 172-116, gets himself to 3-2, stops Ford's 2-game winning streak, puts him at 2-3. For Craig, I got to say, his team's looking really good, really scrappy, really frisky, really fun. And Craig, I don't usually like talking about other people's leagues because nobody cares, but Craig had maybe his best collective week of fantasy that he's ever had. I mean, knocked off me being undefeated, undisputed number one team in Superflex with the highest scoring team of the week. Not even close. Us two being the top two scorers. Just happened to play him. Happened to lose. He knocked off the by far favorite championship favorite in Blaine's league, the Dynasty Dons, with a Herculean effort there as well. And then, to drop some major Don in this league too, 172. So things are certainly looking up for Craig. But you gotta wonder, is the shoe gonna drop? Is the clock gonna strike midnight? You can't usually experience these high highs without some lows, right? So we'll see. It hasn't happened yet. I'm not foreshadowing anything later to come in this video. Things are good for Craig right now. I mean, they're good. I mean, he's looking good. He's looking solid. So we'll see. Is this the year? Can he get more than a couple games above 500? Can he win it? Can he win it all? Jeff Fisher's won it all before, right? Blaine, my insider, my Jeff Fisher expert, right? Just kidding. Got fog brain there, the COVID. For Josh, not good. It's okay. 116's okay. Really kicking myself for not taking his under. I was a little scared, but this is, because he put two good weeks together now, weeks 3 and weeks 4, 136 and 152. However, those are maybe looking a little anomalous. Any time that Ford has scored less than 125 points, he is 0 on the season. 124, 95, and 116 in his 3 losses. 136 and 152 in his 2 wins. Even beating a team who scored 149. So, for Josh, he's got his little stable of running backs there with Genty, Scatabo, Kamara. I think Kamara is a little dinged up. Question, is starting to, wonder, is he going to, is he washed up? Or is he going to get traded? Is the Saints offense just not that good? Who knows? But, this is a game that, the Saints win relatively handily 26-14, and Kamara only gets 8 carries for 27 yards, 4 catches for 28. Not good. And Ford's wide receiver room is nothing to write home about. Kayshon Boutte, Hollywood Brown, okay guys, not good. DJ Moore is kind of okay, fringe running back, wide receiver, whatever he is, positionless. Kyler's just not really who you want to rely on a week to week. He scores 20 points. He's basically been averaging 20 points a game. Good, not great. Right, good, not great there. For Ford, I really, he's 2-3. I think he's got potential certainly to pop off and win weeks with the guys that he has. I don't see him personally. I think there's a pretty clear divide in my mind that we're seeing already after 5 weeks. And granted, a lot of things can change. A lot of injuries, a lot of buys. You just never know. People get hot. People figure it out. You never know. But I think as things are right now, I just don't see him being one of those playoff teams versus Craig. I think it's definitely kind of a lock there for me early on. So next here, we got what was arguably the closest matchup. Not arguably, was the closest matchup. Closest matchup of the week. Of course, came down to Monday night. Kickers' Lives Matter versus Keeping the Faith. Duncan pulls out a victory from his ass, 146-141. Basically the DeMarcado drop touchdown cost me the game. Marvin Harrison being down at the 1 cost me the game and just not being used the entire second half, trying to milk or protect a lead. So it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I feel like we see somebody drop the ball once every couple years going across the goal line. This guy's a career backup passing down back, barely gets any work, and just kind of jogged into the end zone and, wasted. What Rico Dowdle did, 36 points. That's the stuff of legend, guys. For somebody to come off the waiver wire that same week and put up point totals like that doesn't just grow on trees. It doesn't happen every day. So, I'm sick for Rico. I'm sick for him to have that effort be in vain because certainly we wouldn't have been in this position without him. But I expected to lose this week. The fact that I got so close to tasting victory and had it snatched from my clutches is just, it's tough. But this is the game, and this is my faith being tested. You know what I mean? This is my faith being tested. I thought the test was, am I going to just say Duncan's already got it? Should I believe in my guys? But no. The faith was, listen, buddy, you're not going to be on easy street, right? You're not going to be cruising. You're not going to be 4-1. You're not going to be looking at down the highway at being, only 2 or 3 losses by the end of the year. You're going to be in it. Okay, you're gonna have to grind. You're gonna have to get you're gonna have to get this figured out. That's what we shall do. Great games from Jefferson and Garrett. Marvin had a really solid game as well. Just didn't get enough to build that lead up enough to feel great about with Henry and Shakir but I had no Bucky, no DeAndre, no Jalen Warren, no Rashee Rice, no Brock Bowers. And so to come out here and my quarterback still, Herbert's basically been like Kyler Murray, averaging like 20 points since I acquired him. Quarterbacks just don't like to produce for me no matter what. To still come out here, put up 140 points. I feel really good about that. Much better than I expected. If nothing else, Rico's performance was not entirely in vain because he keeps me in that mix for the points if it comes to that. So, but Rasheed's coming back next week. Bucky should be back in a week or two. Bauer should be back in a week or two. And this was always my goal, starting from the beginning of the season, was if I could just find a way to stay at least 500 by the time week 7 rolls around, I'm feeling pretty good. And I'm 3-2, guaranteed to be 500 no matter what. So feeling okay about my team. Kickers' lives matter, not to be overshadowed. 5-0. 5-0 for Duncan. Second place in the standings, we have 2 5-0 teams. I couldn't tell you the last time we've had 2 teams that were undefeated this deep into the season. Have 2 teams that are 5-0. We got a lot of teams at 3-2, a lot of teams at 2-3. Still very, very tight. I don't think we have any teams with only 1 loss. I was the last 1-loss team, and I lost this week. So, Rip and Duncan right now for the buys, they've got a 2-game edge on anybody, and they have the top 2 point totals of any team in the league, which, actually you go down the roster and from top to bottom, and granted, this because we have a lot of teams with the same record, but well, no, I take that back. I was looking at this a little differently. Never mind. I'm going to call that a stat to myself. Duncan 5-0. Obviously, Baker had a great game. His best game of the season. Quinn Sean's coming on. Had not really that great of a game. Still had 17 points. Could have been much bigger if it weren't for a couple key holding penalties. Jamar Chase 8 and garbage time against the Lions. That's really what kind of opened the door for Duncan to get back in this. I knew if I wanted to have a chance of winning this week, I was going to need Duncan to score less than 130. And Jamar to pull a rabbit out of his hat, get a long touchdown. And then Travis Kelce had his best game. I could tell early on. First catch of the game, I think, was to Kelce. And I could just tell that they had something that they liked, that they were really going to get Kelce involved. Of course, he catches a touchdown on an obvious pick play. Part of the difference. But again, that's the game. That's the Chiefs Devils magic. Ramondre got himself 2 touchdowns on Sunday night, despite fumbling his first carry, basically. BTJ had his best game of the year, only 13.5 points, his best game. Not very good, but, still, I think Duncan, he's doing this with no Josh Jacobs. His bench is basically worthless. It's worthless. Let's not get anything twisted, but, he gets Josh Jacobs back in the mix, and he's got a starting lineup that can go toe-to-toe with anybody in the league on any given week. So, and you can't really ask for much more than that. So, good job. Credit to Duncan. Next, we got the Swamp Donkeys versus Flo's Fury NTC. Blaine wins this one 139-127. Drops Wilson to a 4-game losing streak at 1-4. And, folks, you got to start wondering if that NTC is about to get sliced out of that team name for old Wilson, just to try to breathe some life, get some pulse back into his current almost lifeless corpse of a team. Now he still puts up 127, just barely misses out on his projection. But it was really a Herculean effort by Sam Darnold, his best game of the season, one of his best games he's ever had in his career, if I'm not mistaken. 38 points. Maybe his best career game. Second best, he had 45 last week, week 14 against the Falcons. Yeah, I would say easily. Yeah. Second, he had a good game there too. So one of his top 5 performances in his career to date. Rashad White and mop up filling in duty. I mean, that Seattle Bucks game was a fantasy factory. If you had any of those players, you had a good time. JSN had a great game. Rashad had a great game. Not Bucky. Kill myself. Baker had a great game. Darnold had a great game. He had some tight ends with some good games who normally haven't done shit. Kupp had a solid game. Emeka had an amazing game, right? So, just points. Things you love to see as a fantasy owner with those invested guys. But you look at the rest of the team. A.O. Manor as his third wide receiver is not cutting it. Judy's his second wide receiver is not cutting it. You really think he needs to make an upgrade there. Kupp has been solid. Probably deserves to be in a starting lineup. Obviously, no Gainwell this week. No Kyle Pitts. No Lamar Jackson. Was forced to start Justice Hill. Only got 2 points out of him. Didn't want to start Nick Chubb. 13 points. With a couple different lineup decisions, Kupp in for either A.O. Manor or Judy. Nick Chubb in for Justice Hill. Wilson finds a way to win this game. But I'm sure he thought that his cards were stacked against them, against the really, really good, maybe juggernaut, maybe not, 3-2, the Swamp Donkeys, 139. Despite Drake May really playing an extremely solid game, he didn't have any touchdowns. That only got him 18 points, versus leaving Dak on the bench against the hapless Jets, got 37. That's a 20-point swing. Again, could matter down the line later in the season. King Henry falls into the end zone for half a yard, saves his day from being truly abysmal. Kenneth Walker just, again, was no touchdowns, all really kind of through the air in that game, kind of one of the odd men out. I mean, he was averaging 8.6 yards a carry, 10 carries for 86 yards. Can't ask for much more than that except for more volume. Nakua does what he does. Emeka does what he does. Ladd finally got a touchdown. It was nice to see break that streak for him. And Worthy had a solid Wandale game, 6 for 42. Fannin was okay. He got a touchdown otherwise. Not a lot there. Blaine did a lot of roster churning because his bench is really not that great. And he's done a lot of roster churning to try to remedy that. We'll see. We'll get into that here in a minute. Let's see. Oh, we got a trade. We got a trade. All right, breaking news. Da, 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 da. All right. We finally made it happen. So, breaking news trade here before we keep going on with the Week 5 recap. I have agreed to trade Mason Taylor to the Dirty Birds of War for Kendre Miller. Kendre was a guy I've had my eye on for a couple weeks and just never pulled the trigger on him. Never felt like I had the right spot at the right time to pull him into my roster. Honestly, a big reason why I picked up Mason Taylor, which we'll get into, I'm kind of jumping the gun, but the reason I picked up Mason Taylor was to try and basically just try to flip him. Didn't really want him. Didn't really want to have two Jets pass catchers on my team. But I knew that somebody would want him. Somebody would need him. And so I spent on him, got him, and hoped that I could get something in return. My real plan was to try to flip him to Hawk and try to get Kittle. Maybe Mason and somebody else for Kittle. Didn't really go much there. Hawk's really not tempted to make any trades. Kind of sniffs me out. Pivot, build out that running back depth a little bit, and hope that maybe Kamara gets traded and that Kendre can be the guy. So, except live and in the flesh. Hey, how about that? So I don't need 3 tight ends. Needed to flip one. Honestly, probably could have waited me out and I would have dropped to one of them eventually. Maybe even this week, maybe next week. But there you go. All right, so might not be the last trade you hear from the old commish. Just maybe. See, we're working. I'm working some angles. I'm not satisfied, right? We got to keep grinding. We got to keep pushing, push, right? Got to find ways to keep making your team better. Obviously, my team's 3-2. It's not good enough. If I was 5-0, maybe a different story. But 3-2, there's room for improvement. I like my team. I really like my team. But it can always get better. And sometimes I think I can get too much better, and it gets up being too much worse, right? So, anyways, keep going here. We got next is I don't want to be on that. I want to be not on that. Okay. Who was the dog shit team? Hey, everybody over 100 points this week. Congratulations. No true dog shit teams this week, so congratulations there. Next, we got We Leadville versus Died on Burrow Time. We Leadville, 158.8. Number one team in the league, 5-0. Most points scored by about not as much as you would think. Dustin Tribute is sniffing on his heels, man. I'm telling you, Craig has 693 points. Rip has 702, so just about a 9-point difference there between those two guys. The main difference being Craig has 600 points against him. Rip only has 540, right? There's your difference in record. But Craig's a team, just kind of like Blaine last year. I almost hope that he doesn't start losing. I know this is probably crazy for you to hear this, Craig, but with that point total baked up so high, he has a couple monster weeks. It's going to make it really hard for anybody to contend with that for that 6. I want that 6 seed race to be tight. I want it to be tight and have the last week of the regular season flip that in any given way, right? So if Craig keeps on the trajectory that he's on, just without the wins, it's going to be kind of a snoozer where it's just impossible. He's just going to be locked into the 6 seed no matter what his record is, and that's kind of lame. So, but anyway, Rip is the top dog at the moment. 158, another great week from him. Javante just continues to be that guy this year, like we talk about. That happens every year. Montgomery gets back on track, has his best game of the season, second best game of the season, I'm sorry. Even threw for a touchdown, right? Yeah, he threw for a touchdown. Josh, ho-hum, 30-point game. AJ, not good. Quentin, not good. Addison's solid, got a tutty. Kincaid's really been pretty good. I mean, number 2 tight end on the year, sneakily. And Debo had a very nice game as well. This was with no DK Metcalf, no Dobbs. He kept Shaheed on the bench, 22 points from him. Can't say I blame him there. And Chuba was out obviously with the injury as well, which sounds like he may or may not be missing another week, which gives me an idea. Yeah, good work. Anyway, thinking trades. We're thinking now. We're thinking. You asked me 3 weeks ago if I was going to ever make a trade this season. I probably would have told you no, even though I already did with Herbert. But I was pretty content. Anyway, sorry. Again, we Leadville, great start to the season, 5-0. Question mark still with his team. Now, I think that he's locked into the playoffs. I think it'd have to be a collapse of epic proportions for him to miss the playoffs with the start that he's off to. I don't know that a 5-0 team has ever not made the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. But, I'm not sold. I'm not 100% sold. And for Hawk, 0-5, 110. Solid production for most of his guys. I mean, Brent, he lost another one. Oh, God, I forgot. Oh, he lost another one. He had Brenton Strange, who had been off to a really solid start this season, averaging about 10 points a game. And now he's on the IR. Of course, Benson's on the IR. Tracy was out. Odunze was on bye. You're not going to start Marvin Mims. Calvin was on bye. Bryce Young, old Hawk. I'd like to say brighter days are ahead, but we both know that's not true. Next, we've got the McCockner. Highest scoring game of the week. Almost blew the unders for a lot of folks, mainly because of Nick. 161 to 153. Dirty Birds come out victorious with their highest scoring game of the season against a bitter rival in the major comeback season, Nick Wheeler. Valiant effort from Nick. Nick just can't catch a break, guys. You just got to feel for him. He doesn't have the most points scored against him. He doesn't even have the second most points scored against him. But if you talked to him, he'd probably say, "Oh, everybody scores so many points against me, and I have such bad luck." And he's 2-3. He's on a 2-game losing streak. He's got a negative point differential by about 20 points. And as things stand right now, Plunk is in that 6th seed off of record. Well, really off of having the most points of all the 2-3 teams. We've got 5 teams at 2-3. We've got 3 teams at 3-2, and a couple guys at the top and the bottom, right? So very close, very close. And the points really are still somewhat tight. There's still some room, but those teams at the bottom, your Savoys, your McCockners, your Flo's Fury, your Died on Burrow Time. Got to start getting some points going, and buys aren't going to help that. But he finally plays Justin Fields back on his track. Outside of the game that he got injured and the game he didn't play, Fields is averaging 35 points a game. Phenomenal. Took all the garbage time to get him there, but phenomenal. McCaffrey's averaging 30 points, great. Wide receiver 1. Devon Achane, great sick catch. Another basically running back playing wide receiver. Waddle looks like he's going to get going. Diggs has been great. Slayton didn't work out, already cut. Juwan looks like that magic is gone for him, and Omarian's on the IR. But he's got old Bill, 30 burger on his bench. So, and for Nick, Jonathan Taylor continues to impress. 3 touchdown game from him, just insane. He's had more games at 30 plus points than he has less than 30 points. You know what I mean? So, Chase Brown continues to be mid, awful. Devontae is solid, not great. Kendrick Bourne looked like was going to be Nick's savior this week, and didn't quite happen. Pickens had a late touchdown. It didn't matter too much. Waller looks great. Nick loves picking up those Dolphins tight ends. I tell you that. Nick he gets the hot free agent tight end almost every year. Every year. I feel like he did it with McBride, his breakout year. He did it with Jonnu last year, right? He's done it now. Looks like maybe with Waller again. But Woody Marks really was the one who screwed him. He put his faith in Woody after his breakout game a couple weeks ago. Didn't work out. He puts in Njoku. He wins. He screws everybody's under. He puts in Calvin Ridley. He wins. Screws everybody's under. He puts in Pacheco. He wins. Screws everybody's under. Doesn't do any of those things. He loses. That's the way the cookie crumbles. That's how you're 2-3. And then our penultimate matchup, or our final matchup, 2025 Horse Ass versus the McCockners. JD gets his second win in the row. Look out now. JD's hot. 128 to 108. Our dog shit. Throw up all over themselves. Piss on themselves. Pass it off the elbow. Team of the week. The 2025 Horse Ass. 108. It's not good. Don't get me wrong. It's not good. It's not even. It's okay. But Amon-Ra, 20 points. Sleepwalks. Started Isaiah Davis and actually ended up with 7 points out of him. But, his 2 running backs combined for like 12 points. Anytime that happens, you're going to have a bad time. And just didn't have any other options. Bijan was on bye. Honestly, he doesn't really have a second running back. Henderson's not the guy, clearly. Rumors are he doesn't know the playbook. If he gets 10 points, you're winning with Travion, and it's just not good. But the wide receivers are not great either. He starts Torrey Horn and he lucks into a touchdown, right? His best game of the year. Well, second best game. He had an 18-point game against the Saints. How about that? So, but his bench is it's awful. It's awful. Like I've been talking about all year. It's one of the worst in the league. He's still holding on to Geno Smith, for Lord knows why. Geno throws another 2 picks. How many picks does he have on the season? He's got 4. He's got 4. He's got 9 picks. 9 picks already on the season, as opposed to 6 touchdowns. He's got a 6-to-9 touchdown interception ratio. Nice, right? Maybe that's why he's keeping him around. I don't know. Jaden Daniels came back, underwhelming. I'm sure he'll get going, be fine. For JD, 128, solid. I mean, it's really solid. It's his best game of the season thus far. He's kind of slowly working his way up, making it work. JD had one of the deepest teams of the league, I think, and was able to kind of weather this storm of injuries that he's had a little bit better than maybe some other owners like Hawk, who didn't have a good bench, or like Duncan, if his team starts getting hurt. He doesn't have a good bench and will promptly get exposed. But Godwin's coming back a little slower than you'd want. ETN kind of got shut down by a really solid, always solid Kansas City run defense. Ever since he's gotten JK 17, 15, 16, 17, just you can't ask for more than that from your RB2. You just can't. Patty's been great the last couple of weeks, over 30 points. Olave's kind of up and down. Pollard still is kind of the workhorse there. He's still got Michael Carter on the bench, who clearly gets all the work there in Arizona. He's got McLaurin coming back eventually. He's got CeeDee coming back eventually. Hawkinson maybe looks like he's going to start getting it going potentially. But if not, he's got Goddard, who's been really solid and reliable. So I wouldn't put it past. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I don't think JD's a playoff team. But you look at just the roster and you look at when everybody's healthy. If JD can find a way to get a win next week, or this week rather, he's got a shot, man. He's got a shot of finding his way out of the 0-3 depths to getting himself in the mix for the playoffs. I mean, his points have been ticking up. He's at 584, which is currently the second lowest in the league. But he's not far behind Wilson. He's not far off the pace of Savoy. He strings a couple good weeks together with all those guys healthy, and stranger things have happened, certainly. So, all right, let's go ahead here, get into it's funny. We got some chat. We got the right little riled up. Yeah. So Blaine says, LOL. Nick says, love how a bunch of garbage time against the Cowboys convinced Plunky should buy into the Jets passing game. LMAO. And Plunk says, Nick insulting my moves is just fun to see. Question me when you win something, buddy. It has been a long time since old Nicholas has won a title. Really, it's just even been competitive in Bring That Wood. It's been a long time. Some people are saying maybe the magic is gone. So, anyways, start off with the waiver claims. 12 claims today. Every time I think, surely, right? There's only like 4 or 5 guys who are worth picking up. We get 12. Hassan Haskins, the big bell of the ball. 51 fab to Savoy. Next closest was Craig for 19. You had Plunk for 17. JD for 17. I was in for 12. Blaine in for 10. Kareem Hunt goes to Wilson for 46. This was the gotta get your guy waiver run, I'm telling you. Blaine was in for 11. Craig in for 6. I was in for 5. I picked up Mason Taylor for 37. Plunk was in for 27. Craig 22. Blaine 18. Ford 10. Hawk 5. Ford picks up my misused trash. Malik Washington for 31. JD was in for 5. Vidal goes for 27 to Rip. Plunk's in for 17. Craig 17. Blaine 10. I was in for 9. Algier goes for 24. Just insane. I love this. I love the fab betting. Just letting these, like, we're in week 5, week 6, going into week 6, and these bids are coming in nuts. I love it. Blaine gets from for 24. AJ Barner goes to Savoy for 12. Plunk picks up Loveland for 5. He's about to be cut, I'm sure, after this move that we just made. Leggett goes for 5. Not to be forgotten, Wilson was in for 24. Just didn't work out because his roster was full. Craig gets his $1 bids. That's old Craig. Gets Christian Watson for 1 and also gets Tajay Spears for 1 as well. So, good run. I think there's some chances for some of these guys to win some games, either within the next week or two or further on down the road. So anyway, let's go ahead here and get into a preview of this week's games. We're running a little long on time. Game of the week here. I feel like it's got to be some good games this week, guys. Some good games. Let's do that one. That'll be a fun one, right? Yeah, that'll be a fun one. We'll start off here, keeping the faith versus the McCockners. I'm currently projected to lose 137 to 134. JD's got two guys in his lineup that probably aren't going to play. One definitely is not going to play. CeeDee Lamb. I'm not sure why they don't just designate him as out. I mean, it's questionable. Obviously, he's not ready for practice. He's not going to be back this week. Terry, better chance he's going to be back. Not practicing today. Wednesday reports are garbage. Nobody really cares about him. I think once the cards shake out, really, if CD and McLaurin are out, he's going to be forced to start Xavier Legette and Chris Godwin. And I'm sure that'll be Chris Godwin's resurgent game where he drops 25 points because that's what my former players love to do against me. But I just think that I've got enough pieces this week. Obviously, I'm down Justin Jefferson, probably still going to be down Brock Bowers. No Rashee Rice, probably going to be down Bucky. It's still thin, but I like my odds this week. I'll go ahead and give myself the W there. Next, almost the game of the week. Almost. The Swamp Donkeys versus Kickers Lives Matter. 3-2 versus 5-0. Blaine's projected to win 159 to 153. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. I like Blaine, though, to get himself to 4-2, give Duncan his first loss of the year. I think Duncan's due for a little bit of regression. I think he hits that this week. So I'd like to see Duncan under 153. I don't like to see it, but I think Duncan under 153 is a boop, 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 hammer. Lock it in. Hammer, max. Next, we got the Battle of the Bella Vista Bandits. Flo's Fury versus Doesn't Contribute. Craig's projected to win 156 to 140. Excuse me. I think as his roster is currently constructed, I don't see Wilson getting to 140. Versus Craig's got Green City. I think Craig stays hot, stays rolling, probably drops another 150-point plus game this week and gets the dub, gets to 4-2 as well. Next, we've got the also consideration for game of the week. We Leadville versus Major Comeback Season. Rip is projected to win 148 to 146. Until Nick can show me, well, he put up 153 last week, should have won, in all fairness. Would have beat most other teams this week. Let's go with Rip. Why not? We'll go with Rip in that one. Penultimate matchup, 2025. This is garbage game. 2025 Horse Ass versus Died on Burrow Time. Savoy's projected to win 149 to 115. Hawk might go winless this year, guys. It hasn't happened. He's one loss away from being in the record books as a 6-game losing streak. 6-game win streak, 6-game losing streak. You get into the Hall of Records. He's one game away from that. I don't think Savoy gets anywhere close to 149, but I think he does enough to get a win this week. And so, that brings us to our game of the week. So, I got a package from fully fledged council member, Mr. Duncan Bolch. He, like I alluded to last week, ask and you shall receive. I've been asking, where's this package? Where's this package? He talked to me weeks ago about this, about, hey, I've got some people who want to send you some stuff for sponsors. So we're having a live unboxing, a live reveal, live on camera. I don't know what's in here. As you can see, I'm breaking the tape right now. I wanted us to be able to experience this together as a family. So let's see what we got in here. Great packing. Excuse me. Okay, we got a letter. We got a letter. Okay. Club Oxley, official snack sponsor of your fantasy football season. Executive Director of Event Planning, Carrie B. Carrie, hey, shout out to Club Oxley in Powell, Ohio. Appreciate everything you guys have sent to me. I'm not sure that I'm going to necessarily like maybe any of it. but I certainly will try it. Certainly do anything for content. Dear Commissioner, as Executive Director of Event Planning at Club Oxley, I couldn't stand by and watch another episode of you bravely raiding the cabinet for expired pretzels and Uncrustables. This is nice. This is very custom. I like this. This league deserves better. You deserve better. So I present your officially scouted, hand-picked snack roster for the 25 fantasy season. We got some. Well, I don't want to spoil everything. I don't want to spoil that, but this hand-picked spread ensures that when dead air strikes, you'll have more to offer than whatever's in the pantry. I've also stashed a few snacks off the official lineup, hidden gems, waiting on the bench.
Hi, husband.
Hey, wife, how are you? Sorry, I got a package for sponsors for State of the Union.
Who sent this to you?
Duncan coordinated it.
Oh, that was so nice.
Well, Duncan didn't send it. Carrie B., the executive director of event planning at Club Oxley, did. So, anyways,
that was so nice, Duncan. I love
yeah. Consider them late round sleepers or waiver wire miracles you didn't see coming. Huh? How about that? Consider this the Club Oxley contribution to league morale, trash talk fuel, and maybe even playoff bribes. And of course, I'm not going to say that about Roll Tide. We want to thank you for your service as a commissioner, entertainer, and provider of both rules and comic relief. With these snacks, may the rest of your season be drama-filled, your ruling swift, and your snack table forever stacked. Don't worry, unlike your waiver wire, the snack supply has no hidden fees. P.S. These nuts take you out early. Just know we'll list you on the injury report as day to day. Interesting. Yes. No kicker jokes at this time. I've been informed this is a kicker-free zone. Yeah, bold strategy. Thank you. All right. Well, that's too bland to start the first one here. I'm done cashing. Let's see. Oh my god. Oh wow. Yeah, let's try this. Let's try this for the initial one. The D's Nuts game of the week. D's Nuts meat bites, not nuts. Honey maple smoked sausage contains no actual nuts, just in case you were curious. It's got the packaging's a little ripped there already. Refrigerate after opening. I don't know that I could eat these. The package is ripped, and it says refrigerate after opening. Is that why they say it's questionable meat? Why not? We'll try it. It's got pork, beef, honey, salt, a lot of saturated fats, a lot of cholesterol, a lot of protein. That's good. Made from our famous Land Jaegers. You're going to like D's Nuts. So D's Nuts, the official meat bite of the Bring That Wood Fantasy Football League, expires November 25. But again, the package is definitely opened. Not open, but ripped. And this has been in the sun all day, and I gotta, I definitely think that's some mold on there.
What?
Yeah, you guys tell me. What do you think that?
No way.
So it's November, but you see that? It's ripped right there.
It wasn't concealed.
And it's supposed to be refrigerated, so.
Damn.
So we're gonna have to pass on these nuts.
Those were nuts or meat?
No, it's meat, but it's called these nuts.
Ew,
just throw those away. Yeah.
Oh, baby.
So anyway, they were great. They were delicious. Thank you so much. So anyways, we'll try again on next week, right? We got a whole box of stuff here, okay? Anyways, game of the week. Truck Nuts versus the Dirty Birds of War. This should be a blowout. It's two teams that are 2-3. This is really, I think, a litmus test to see which way these teams are going to go, right? You'd much rather be 3-3 than sitting at 2-4. I don't think anybody would question that. Battle of the quarterbacks. You got Jordan Love versus Brock Purdy. Maybe. Brock maybe's back. Maybe not. Who knows with him. If not, he's got Justin. Still got 3 quarterbacks. I don't understand. We'll go with Love in that one. Battle of the running backs. You got Genty, Scatabo versus CMC and Devon Achane. No question. CMC and Achane, the old guard versus the new hotness. Wide receiver, you got Sutton, DJ Moore, Hollywood Brown versus Jennings, Diggs, and Waddle. Bleh. 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 Makes me think I ate one of those moldy D's nuts. You won't see a grosser wide receiver matchup in the game of the week, I don't think, all year. Push. Battle of the tight end, you got Juwan Johnson versus Trey McBride. Maybe he throws in Mason Taylor now that he's acquired him. Again, we'll go with McBride. Doesn't matter. And then flex, you got Kamara versus old Bill. Kamara did a lot. He won Plunk a lot of games, won Plunk a lot of money back in the day, back in his youth. We'll go with Bill on that one. I think ultimately the running backs and the flex and probably, honestly, the wide receivers are going to be just a little bit too much for Ford to overcome. And I think Plunk gets his way back on track to get himself back in the playoff mix. So that's all I got this week, fellas. We'll have more exciting, sponsorships to come this season. Please believe me. I'm going to go through and double check everything that's in here and get it lined up for expiration dates and just to make sure that nothing else has been damaged in transit. So, anyways, it's the thought that counts. It's the thought that counts, Carrie. I know it's nothing your fault, nothing you did. I very, very greatly appreciate everybody who watches this who's not in this league, because honestly, there's a million other things that you could be doing with a better use of your time than watching me ramble on for 45 minutes every week, every Wednesday. So, as my wife says, absolutely. Appreciate you guys. Stay safe out there. Good luck this week. And as always, whoop pig.